allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our normal prayer gentleman isn't here, so Robert Beer, one of our trustees, will say the prayer.
Father God, thank you for this opportunity to gather together, Lord, to have this meeting, Lord. Please, Lord, allow us to honor you in everything we say and we do. And Lord, just guide us throughout these days to serve you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Clerk will call the roll.
Trustee Adolph? Here. Trustee Rivera?
Here.
Trustee Conley?
Here.
And Trustee Bonomo?
Here.
Supervisor College?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, we have first public comment.
Anybody not sign in that wants to speak?
Good time.
I'm trying.
Can you throw out?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I didn't know you said start orders.
Angie Breyer?
Yes.
Hi, Angie.
Hi. Oh, you ready to speak already? Okay. Hi, just wanted to say a few things, and I was just bringing to mention that I'm from Founders Crossing, in the department there, and I know that our rent is due to go up, and I was just going to bring to the board's attention that a majority of us that live there, we're on single income, and when you were basing your rental fees, it was based on the surrounding areas that had maybe younger couples that were two-income family. We're not in that situation. So what I was looking at, and I was just doing a fast figure throw out, my rent right now is $850. My utilities, which are not included in the rent, come to about $270 a month. That's just for my utilities. And so that, I'm already paying $1,125 a month. If you go up to $900, which we are due to have, we've received a letter, September 1st, our rent is increasing to $50. That would bring my, excuse me, rent and utilities to $1,170. Now, in that same letter, it said by March 1st, there's another $50 increase.
Sorry.
So now that's going to bring me to, and I'm sure you all have additional expenses, $1,220. Now I'm thinking, and we were told at the meeting that I was not there, the June 16th meeting I believe it was, that they're looking to raise our rent to at least $1,200 a month. That's just the rent. Now I don't know about you all, but I am really going to struggle. And the one thing that brought me to Homer Township, and I've lived in Homer Township, we built our home to raise our children here. And the great thing about it, I sold my home to my son and his family. So we're here for the long haul. I put in my dues. I paid my taxes. I'm just, I don't know where to go from here. I'm going to tell you right now. The other thing that I really wanted to tell you that I found very interesting was on the Founder Crossing website. It states, over 10,000 senior citizens call Homer Township home. Many of these seniors literally built Homer Township into the wonderful community it is today. Founders Crossing is meant to help keep our treasured seniors in the area they helped create. Then it goes on explaining about the complex.
Angie, thank you very much for your comments. Your 2 minutes are up. I do appreciate it, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got 3.
Is it Souter?
Yes. Well, I meant very short, and he gave her some more time. Anyway, you know, with the cost of everything going up, 30-some% for gas, prescriptions. Now, I don't know what anybody else makes in this room, you know, at all. I don't know the purse strings and nothing else. But I know some people are going to be hurting with this raise. And when you want to compare us to Orland or Homer Glen or to Lockport, they don't have a $150 a month water bill. So at $850 and $150, you're at $1,000 to start at another $100 bucks, you're at $1,100. And you're really gonna hurt a lot of senior citizens with this. Now, if you wanna compare stuff to it, you can take a look at this in Orland. Here's a senior place in Orland. Okay? Look at, turning over on the other side, you can see that. I think that place was set up for senior citizens and at a good cost. I mean, I lived in Homer Glen for 30-some years paying taxes. Should be punished now.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for your
Ask them
comments.
to enter that into the record. So you just
Oh.
stop.
Do they enter that into the record?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're record, oh, will we render this into the record?
I don't care.
We won't, no.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Joan Madigan?
Joan?
Joan?
It should be.
Oh, you signed in?
Oh, you just signed it, okay.
Oh, I didn't know why. I thought everyone had to say.
Okay, no problem, Joan.
Thank you, Joan.
Pat, Monerick?
How about Menard?
Monerick, okay. Sorry about that, Pat.
Decided to be here.
Okay, well, thanks for showing up, Pam. Sharon Sweet.
Hi, I have a knee problem, so I'm just going to sit. And I did practice this speech 3 times, and I have 40 seconds left over, so you can't stop me. What is the logical reason why we changed the location of the township meetings from the township hall to this room? By cramming residents into this room with COVID still lurking around, you are signaling that you really do not care for the residents' safety and comfort. Are you trying to hinder residents from coming? Despite the fact that the room is approved for 48, distancing has not taken into account. Are you then going to use that excuse to say that the township hall is not being utilized enough, so maybe we'll try to give that away as well? You also need to correct item 12F. The Walter property was not donated to the township. The entire Walter parcel was originally purchased by the township, consisting of 70 acres. 50 acres with open space bond money, 5 acres from senior housing bond, and 10 acres healing garden area with township fund money. So why are you spreading misinformation saying the property was donated? There is also almost $340,000 in the Founders Crossing General Fund. So that is another bit of misinformation when it was stated previously that the previous board ran the fund into the red. Why are you trying to drive out the fixed income seniors from Founders Crossing with rent increases? If these rent increases are deemed necessary, then where are the justifications for it? And it also needs to be a more gradual level of increase. And since there's no line item for rent increases, is the budget going to be amended to reflect this, which then needs to be published, posted, another public hearing, and then refiled? Since your agendas are quite vague, I do have a lot of questions as to why there is a line item transfer from the Open Space Fund. There is $972,000 in that Open Space Fund, and where is it going to? And what are the reasons for draining this fund? I would like all these public comments to be fully recorded in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Roy Adcock.
I'll just take it. I don't understand, y'all know who I am. I live in Holmes Township, the unincorporated areas. Had a couple quick questions, and I'll try to keep it under 3 minutes, because I know you'll be there. I see that for the previous time in the last administration, I know, Steve, we had all your people here with their cell phones, and they were constantly on this about getting it on Channel 6. I see yours here, but it's always on YouTube. Part of it was going to be on Channel 6. Why isn't it on Channel 6? That was the goal. It was going to be on Channel 6. It was supposed to be there. We had it, people stomping up and down. There was all these disruptions. There was no mention of I watch it on YouTube and somebody gets out of line and next thing you know, you're threatening to call the police, have them arrested, thrown out of the meeting. We never heard that from past administrations, and I don't know why all of a sudden somebody gets out of line and wants to ask questions. You're threatening to have them arrested. That was none of that. You would get out of line, sitting over here with the rest of us, disrupting the meeting, and everybody dealt with it. So why all of a sudden now do we have to have the police here and being threatened to get arrested just as a taxpayer? That ain't right to be. You and I might have our differences, we know that, and that's okay. We're all elected officials, such is life. I can handle that. But the rest of the residents, they shouldn't be having that threat over their hand if they don't get along with this township board now of being arrested. And it should be on Channel 6. That was their whole goal. You guys got in office for that. We need to be worried about that. When we met, you met and met with the people from our subdivision, you told, don't worry. I got all my people in Homer Glen. We're not gonna worry about getting all these trucks. We're supposed to have all these trucks. Well, you got, I think it was 2 trucks they said they got. None of those trucks, none of the stuff was manifested. Like, it's still early yet, but we don't have the appeal going no more. All these things, I'll tell you what, the people over there, we feel like we're coming out on the short end. Brent's trying his hardest. I'm gonna say kudos to you. I'm not bad rapping you at all. I don't see nothing happening here. You was coming in, we're gonna be moving and grooving, that's it. I don't see nothing happening, other than, get out of line, you're out. That's not the way we're supposed to be. And again, I seen that we're moving to this building, I'm watching that. We should all be sitting back in that other building. There's no reason for that.
Right.
So, don't speak when we're over here. The guy's standing back there with that badge on, he might get thrown out. So, I mean, we all laugh about it because that's what we should be doing. None of this threatening over us like we see about this. So let's just kind of ease up here when people are talking. If they want to go over, people went over, you went over your 3 minutes. It's not the end of the world.
Well, thank you, Roy. Thanks for your comments.
Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. Thanks.
Thank you, Roy.
You're done.
Thanks, Roy. Keith, great.
Hi, Keith Gray here from Homer Glen. I'm going to read my comments also, just like Sharon did. I'd like to encourage the board to reconsider the extraordinary rent increase they imposed on the residents of Founders Crossing at the June 21st special meeting. The members of this board gave no indication that they were looking to balance the budget on the backs of the senior citizens. There was no discussion of why this increase was put through. It actually almost seems vindictive. Many seniors live on fixed incomes, and Social Security recipients received only a paltry 1.3% cost of living allowance increase in 2021. While $1,200 a year may seem like very little to the members of this board, seniors living on fixed incomes see this as insurmountable. The Township website even says, to your point, Founders Crossing is meant to help keep our treasured seniors in the area they helped create. I've had many sad conversations from residents that feel they are not welcome in Homer Township anymore. They feel as if the supervisor and the board are trying to push them out of their own community. Life on a fixed income oftentimes means dealing with hardships and hard realities. The township supervisor and the trustees should be finding ways to help alleviate the troubles of these vulnerable citizens, not creating new hardships for the seniors. I care so much about where I live that I'm willing to come here tonight and stand up to the elected officials of our township on behalf of those in our community that need help. I know that the township elected officials may be angry with me, but I do it because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Can you applaud?
Forgive me if I ruin this name. Brock
Backle,
Backle. Okay, I got it.
15026 Eagle Ridge Drive. What's the capacity at the other building? You're not going to answer any questions?
No.
Is it more than 48? I bet it is. I wonder if those people who are standing outside who want to come in could get a seat. I don't think so. Not with 48 people. Quite the coincidence, wouldn't you say? That you have a price increase on the seniors, and then you conveniently move the venue to here, where you can limit the amount of residents that come in. Very interesting, isn't it?
Is the occupancy thing posted?
It's 48.
I know,
They-
is it posted in here?
I don't know. The fire department approved 48, but I can guarantee you the other building
Oh, there it is.
holds considerably more people than 48.
Done on purpose.
Okay, thank you, Brock.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hello. I know you said that since I'm not a business owner, I shouldn't be talking, but I'm going to share my experience. Up until about 10 years ago, I worked as a personal banker for many years in a small farm town. Most of my clients were retired, many living on Social Security alone, fixed income. I learned very quickly about these wonderful people that love their hometown so dearly. I'm going to get a whoosh.
You and me both. Go.
One was that they loved chat. I'm getting shaky. Every day I'd have at least one person sit at my desk with their complimentary coffee they had no banking experience at all. We mainly discussed their family, Other times we discussed their trouble. Now this was pre-Obamacare, pre-Affordable Care Act. I'd hear stories of how they were down to their last of their lifelong savings after working their entire lives. Some losing their home, and even already lost their home because they couldn't afford the $100 a month or more in medicine, or if they had huge medical bills because they couldn't get medical insurance due to a pre-existing condition. At that time, I was struggling myself. I was a divorced mother of a 2-year-old living on $12 an hour as a personal banker. Take home was just about the average that it is for you guys. It was like $1,500 a month. My rent was $650. After all utilities, car insurance, daycare, I barely had enough to put food on the table. Thank God for food insurance. I was very much in the shoes financially as the very people I was serving, and who you guys are serving today. And I had nowhere near the water bills that you guys had to pay, so thank God for that. $50 a month increase with a 2-month notice is a huge burden to put on these people. $100 a month more in less than a year is heartless. If I'm not mistaken, these homes are meant so families can stay together in the same community, the community that they built. $100 a month per 30 homes for a year is $36,000 a year. Surely you can find $3 a year per Homer Township household to prevent this. Maybe use that money being saved with less maintenance due to the IGAs. That budgeted expense could cover the cost. Or perhaps the commissioner can use that same fine-tooth comb that he found an extra $45,000 a year.
That's right.
Ellen Moriarty.
Okay, all right, for the record, I'm requesting that my comments be fully recorded in the minutes. And it's also my understanding that if somebody presents a paper along with their comment for, evidence of what they're saying, and asks that it be included in the minutes, I'm pretty certain that they're supposed to be. So you might want to check that out before you just say, no, we're not going to include it. I'll look up what the law is on that. Maybe your attorney knows? Okay, thank you. Okay, so line item 5B, you're going to reschedule the parade that had to get canceled. Is that going to cost additional money? Because I know we already put money forward for the parade. Line item 6D, where we're now going to have a senior committee. We used to have a special needs and senior committee, and I can remember people hooting and hollering about the special needs and what needed to be done in this community for them, and what was never done. Now they're not even on the agenda at all. Can somebody please address what's happened to the special needs portion of the special needs and senior committee? And along with that, could you address what is the status of the agreements, the long-standing agreements between the Northern Will County Special Recreation Association and the Lincoln Way Special Recreation Association? And which committee will be responsible going forward for handling those agreements and paying what Homer used to be able to come up with to help the special citizens of Homer Township out with? What is the status of the Pace Bus project? Because that was near completion before the regime changed. Okay, and then going forward with, it seems to be something about that the rent has to increase because the roads are terrible over at the Founders. I don't know.
The roads aren't terrible.
Yeah, I've heard that from numerous people. There doesn't seem to be a problem with the roads over there. The maintenance has been kept up on them and everything. But if in fact there is going to be a tremendous project over there that needs to be a $50 a month increase for, when will that project be let to bid? And then line 6G, a transfer out of our open space fund. What is the transfer for? there should be something included with the minutes, and something official that tells what you're transferring for. And then, on that note, the open space fund, in November, the voters overwhelmingly approved a referendum about acting on that open space fund. And when will some action be taken on that? Yeah, that's what the voters wanted.
Thank you, Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's Ann Russo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question. Maybe somebody can answer it, but let me first tell you. If everybody looks at their water bill, all the little itemizations, there's something on there called a pass-through charge. That will vary every month, okay? I called Illinois American Water to find out what it is and why. Nobody knows.
Ann, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. We have nothing to do with the water bill. I'm just gonna let you know up front. That's for the village. That's for the
Okay.
village of Homer Glen.
All right,
But if you have
okay.
other comments,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Finish your comments.
Yeah.
No, I called everybody. I
Yeah,
called water,
I'm
I
sorry,
called
we
the
have nothing
village.
to do with that.
Nobody knows. So who, any suggestions on who I talked to?
I really don't, I'm sorry.
Does everybody see it on their bill?
Yeah.
It's anywhere, mine was $20-something, so I'm just trying to find out. I didn't know who to talk to.
No, that's okay, Ann,
why
I
I'm
just
here.
wanted to let you know that we have nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
nothing.
Yeah, but thank you, Ann.
Okay.
Karen Worth.
Hi.
Hi, Karen.
I'm Karen. Most of you know me from the Homer Glen Village Square page. Most of you have private messaged me saying, what did you do to me? But anyway, I'm with the Founders Crossing comments so far, so I'll leave that part off. I have really only two things. One is communication. I've been here for over 30 years, raised my kids here, trying to get them out of my house. There's a couple still left. But I want you guys to succeed, and I'm not kidding. I'm an independent voter. I don't care where you came from, what you do. I want this town to work, and I want it to be better. What I see so far, and I know it's early, it's the first couple of months, is that there's definitely a communications issue. One of the best examples is Founders Crossing. We just put that memo out there about there's going to be a $500 increase, another $500 increase. People go crazy. There's no information surrounding it as to why. There's no business plan that I can tell. And I'm just asking you to consider to run these things kind of like project management, where before you drop something out there that we can all fight about, wind up calling each other names, and you know, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of everyone's time. So I'm just, and I'm willing to help if I can in any way, because I experience in the area. Just organize your projects. Yours too, Brent. We had to wait until there were comments all over the place, and we had 7 administrators all tearing our hair out trying to let you speak, but we can't let you speak because you don't give enough information and then people keep coming back. So I'm asking for you to consider project management, communication, better communication with us, so we need to come and ask these questions. I looked at the agenda, I can't figure out what's going on there. I could add questions on almost every line. We should have a budget for each project, and then the overall budget. And then the last thing I have, answers. We stand up here and we talk, we never get answers to the questions that we ask. I know you're not allowed to speak or answer or whatever, but how are we supposed to get the answers? Sometimes they'll be on Facebook, but that doesn't get out to the community. So there were a couple of times where, and I think it was related to the truck issue, where I just said, can you please answer this? Nothing, you know? So that's the only thing I think most of the people in this room, I would say, want you to succeed. I don't care what party you are, this is my community. And if there's anything I can do, and you know other people in the room have volunteered, I'd be glad to do that. But that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Christina Knightsky-Drightby.
Hello. I would first like to thank Supervisor Balich and Clerk Bozen for taking the time to speak with me and answering some very difficult questions when I had given them a phone call over the last few days. But after hearing the residents tonight, I actually have a lot more questions, but I'll save those questions for another phone call later on during the week. The only thing I asked, or I'm sorry, to the board, in your term, you will have to make many challenging decisions. You will sometimes vote on what's right on what's the right thing to do for all and go against what you feel is right for one or vice versa. There will be times you vote one way and wish you voted another. Trust me, I've been there. There will be times you vote and your most beloved ally sitting next to you will become upset and your enemies will start appreciating you. There will be times you vote as an army of one and the rest of the board will vote differently. With that being said, the only thing that I can ask of each of you is if you could possibly communicate more with your residents on why you vote the way you do. This will help educate the residents on these difficult matters. Education, clarity, and transparency is the key to being a successful governing body. Supervisor Balich and Clerk Bozen, you have done an amazing job when I had called and asked you, and again, very, very difficult decisions, or very difficult questions, and I appreciate, again, for you guys answering those questions. However, again, as hearing the residents tonight, I'm going to follow up with some more. The second thing I wanted to talk about real quick is I'm sure many of you had heard about the crime that has been happening in our area. Unfortunately, it had happened to my sister and my niece. They were followed by a car full of armed men and who had followed my niece into her garage. So the only thing that I ask is that you guys keep your eyes and ears open for anything that you see suspicious. Look out for each other, be there for each other, and report anything you see suspicious to the police. Call 911 if you have to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is everything.
Not much help. We'll move on to Clerk Vicky Bozen's report.
I'd like a motion to approve the June 14th monthly Township Board meeting minutes.
Motion to approve that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion to approve the June 21st, 2021 special Township Board meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion's passed. Okay. The annual Independence Day parade was canceled, as someone has pointed out, due to inclement weather.
Vicky?
And okay, the annual Independence Day parade was canceled due to inclement weather, and we do hope to reschedule this parade. More details to follow. That's all I can really say because we haven't discussed it yet due to everyone being on vacation and conflicting schedules. So then for C, we have a few old computers in the office, and I have presented to the board about 10 different options for computers that would not only keep us going today, but we're looking for long term. So something that would be good for the next 4 years, if not longer, for our office, for our term in office. The one I am recommending is the HP one, which is the first one in your pamphlet here. And I'm looking for a motion. We were going to get 2 laptops to replace the desktop units that we have. And one of the reasons is if we are mobile and we need to go somewhere, we will be able to take the computers with us to the location. So that was one of the reasons we were looking to do a laptop as opposed to a desktop unit. And I'm looking for a motion for each computer would be about $1,500. And so it'd be about $3,000 plus tax. I didn't include the tax in here because. So I'm looking for a motion to purchase not to exceed, let's say, $3,200 with tax for the 2 laptop computers.
Motion to approve.
The second. And I will do a roll call. Trustee Adolph? Trustee Rivera? Trustee Conley?
Yes.
And Trustee Bonello?
Yes.
Supervisor Bowden.
Yes.
Understand.
So the motion passes. And then I did have one more comment. I'm sorry I didn't put this on the agenda, but we are currently asking the high school students or any Homer Township teenager, we are having a contest to redesign our logo. So if any of your children or grandchildren that live in Homer Township would be interested, we also did contact the high school to have the high school art students participate in this contest. So if anybody is interested, you can contact me at the Township office, okay? And that was not on the agenda.
Thank you, Vicki. Okay, the first thing on my report would be motion to direct the supervisor to investigate refinancing the Founders Crossing bonds. I've been going through where we can start saving money, and I've contacted some people just to find out if we could save money, and the answer is yes. And so now we have to move forward on it. We can, one guy told me we can save about $35,000 and not increase the term. It'd be the same term, we just pay less interest. And so it's just common sense to go along and do it. But I want to get 3 bids. I've talked to, I'm getting bids from Ellers, Bernardi Securities, and what's the other one? One other one, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, I got 3 reputable companies giving me bids.
What are the bonds? I don't understand.
There's,
it.
we, not us, but a long time ago, they took out bonds to build the senior housing. You know, and so it's their senior housing bonds, so you gotta pay them off. They were reduced.
How long ago was that?
They're supposed to end, they were supposed to end in 2032, and they were refinanced about 5 years ago, and now they end in 2028. But we're gonna refinance them again because we're gonna save money on it, and we'll probably end up keeping the same term, so they'll still end in 2028, but we'll save $35,000 or $40,000 or whatever the number comes out to after we actually put it on paper. But I didn't want to move forward and put it on paper until the board told me I got their permission. So we're actually going to save money, so it's a good thing.
And that's not extending the due date on the bond?
So,
Well, actually, I'm not supposed to be answering questions, because I don't want to turn this into a back and forth, you know, but...
Steve, so are you're just looking for us to support the fact that we want to look into what the different terms might be? And then
Right.
you'll bring back...
I'll bring back everything. I actually
Right.
have the bond person that we use
Great.
come here and explain it all, so you got questions, you can
Right.
ask him
So you're just,
directly.
yeah, so just to clarify, we'll just look at the terms, look at the
Without
bonds, and
going
then-
into all the facts,
100%.
we are going to save quite a bit of money.
Fantastic.
So we need to get a motion and a second to get that approved.
So you need a motion to approve the investigation of
Right.
financing Founders Crossing.
Right.
Make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? We're not saying just all in favor, right? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, the next item has to do with the senior housing, and like I said before, we did talk to the seniors in June, and we went out and explained what we're gonna do. It wasn't, you know, maybe, I'm sure they don't like it, and I'm sorry, you know, but we have to do this in a logical way. We're not subsidized by the government. The township pays for this stuff, and if we don't raise the rents, then it's on us. And then, you know, these senior housings are not, they're not subsidized with nothing, and they're not based on low income either. It's just based, it's almost like renting an apartment. The only difference is, the only qualification for this is that you have to be 55 years old. That's it. You can make $1 million, or you can make $5. Doesn't matter. So what we're gonna be doing, not now, I don't know when, but we're gonna do it in the near future. We're gonna address the issues concerning that. Like other towns I've talked to, the supervisors, and Most of them have, nobody has 55, it's 62 or 65 is the age. But, and the cost of everybody is way more than our cost for the same type of deal that we got. But, you know, that's just going to say that. I want everybody to be aware that that's what's going on. Now, you hear a lot of rumors, that's just what it is, a rumor. You know, and I'm sure if I lived there, I would not want to get even a $5 increase. But now, here we go we're starting to repair the things that need to be repaired. I don't want to have anybody tripping because we were too cheap to fix the place. And the cement is falling on a number of the houses when they're going in the door. They have to be repaired.
You have 3 sidewalks that actually need to be.
The asphalt, I've been out there and I looked, I'm meeting the road commissioner there tomorrow, and we're gonna determine whether the road commissioner can write the scope for the bids, or if we have to go out with a company like HR Green or White or one of them to go out and do the design or whatever it is to do the work. But we're not gonna sit back and not fix this stuff. We also need to look at some of the units. Right now, everything seems to be working all right, but I was told by Air Tigers today that the boilers that run all these buildings, they're extremely expensive to repair, and they're all been put in like a long time ago. So everything there is about ready to break. It's put in 2004. So some people got new stuff in their apartment, some don't. We have to replace a lot of stuff, and we're doing the most important things first, and that's the sinking asphalt and the sinking concrete. And we're going to get a handle on that tomorrow with the road commissioner. So if you see us out there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, you'll know what we're doing. He's examining everything because he's an expert, he's an engineer. He knows what he's doing, and then he's going to make the decision whether we go out to a formal bid with a company or if he can handle it himself. But it's a problem, and we're going to fix it. And so this motion is to obtain estimates for concrete and asphalt repairs for Founder's Crossing. And I need a motion for that, just to get estimates, because we're going to have to... Yeah, this is not the formal bid process. This is just giving me permission from the board to go out and start working on this project. So we want to get it done as soon as possible.
What does that mean?
Okay, let's do a roll call on this one. Trustee Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Conley.
Yes.
Sorry, Trustee Bonomo.
Yes.
And Supervisor Ballard.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. We have, we wanted to start doing the meetings here as opposed to the Old Town Hall. And normally, we don't get anywhere near this many people. This is probably one of the larger meetings. The fire department came and said we can have 48 people in here, and just doesn't have a problem. The reason why you're warm in here is because the air conditioners broke today. Otherwise, you'd be coming in here and it would be cold. It would be cold, but it would be comfortable.
We have a wedge for the
But since the air conditioners broke today, you got a fan blowing. So I'm sorry for the problem. We're going to, next month, we'll be talking about getting new air conditioners. So, you know, there's always something happening, right? But we're going to be doing the meetings here. And like I said, this is a larger crowd than we normally would get at the Old Town Hall. And we fit everybody in here with no problem. And
This is on the 33rd.
we're going to do them all here. And then if we do have a meeting that we think is going to be extra large, we're going to move it to the junior high. We're not going to mess around with moving it to the park garage, you know, do it on gravel or none of that stuff. We're either going to do it here or at the junior high. If I have a meeting like that, I'll make sure I get a hold of Superintendent Crappie and ask him for permission to do it over there, and he will have no problem with helping us. then we need a motion to form 3 committees. The Senior Committee, Truck Enforcement Committee, and Land Identification Committee. And the Senior Committee is not going to be doing any special needs. The Village of Homer Glen has a Special Needs Committee, and they just started it out. They're only, I think they had 1 meeting so far. That's it. And what's going to happen is, I've talked with the people over at Homer Glen, and to be successful with special needs, you can't have a fiefdom of Homer Glen and a fiefdom of Homer Township and a fiefdom of whatever. You've got to work together with other cities and government entities in order to qualify for grants. You're not going to get these grants as easy as you will. If you're by yourself, you may or may not get it. But if you're with a bunch of other government agencies, you have a way better chance. So Homer Glen is going to start with just Homer Glen. And when they get that settled and they get their direction and everything else, then they're going to come to the township and say, hey, we're ready. We'd like to have Homer Township involved with us. Wow. At that point, a couple, 2 meetings, I can't tell you which meeting because we've had so many meetings, with special meetings and everything else, to try and get this boat steered in the right direction. This isn't the easiest thing in the world to do when you walk in and you have to change course and stuff. But we've already decided at this group, we're going to have Brent Porfilio appointed to that committee when the time comes. The time isn't here now. And then I'm sure they're going to be going to Lockport, the city of Lockport, Lockport Township, maybe New Lenox and New Lenox Township. So this committee that's out of Homer Glen, if they're going to be successful, which I hope they will, because I'll do everything I can to help them be successful, will be going to everybody. And the township right now is still making the same donations to the special needs groups that we've done in the past. We did not stop. They send us a list of how many people come from the township to their, like Lincoln Way or the SRAs, and we're giving them the check stuff. We're still paying them. We don't need a committee to tell us to pay these people. And it isn't paying them. We're donating to them who are doing services for our people. So there's a big difference. We're not just saying, here's a bunch of money. They're helping our people. So we're not going to stop. That's going to continue.
Supervisor Balch, if I could just clarify one small thing, I'm sorry. You keep referring it to as a special needs committee. I want to just inform everyone, it's actually called an all abilities committee, which incorporates veterans, seniors, and special needs families. Nicole Laha is chairman. I just wanted to clarify that because you're referring to special needs and it's politically incorrect for the committee.
We're not doing, over here,
I understand, but I wanted to make it clear.
Because what we're planning on doing is having a senior committee, and I've already got a group of people. After they approve it, then I'll say the names, but the group's already working on this. That's why we didn't start this stuff until we got going on it, so we know what we could do and what we couldn't do. Because I didn't want to have a committee just to say we got a committee. That's stupid. So we found that we can do stuff already with these committees. And the senior committee is going to be able to start the bingo thing up again, their monthly luncheon, work with the people at Founders, to include them, because not everybody was before. We don't know, we think we're going to be going to a different church for having the bingo. We don't know for sure, because they haven't talked to the Cross of Glory yet. But we are going to have that again. Also the trips, and we found people that will donate the cost for the buses for the trips. So you will not have to pay for those buses anymore. So there's a lot going to happen for the seniors that we're going to do. Just so you know, that's the senior committee. Then the truck enforcement committee, you know, you heard here that they're not doing nothing. Well, I've talked to the state's attorney 4 or 5 times. I've talked to the sheriff department a couple of times already. And then Mr. Bonomo, the person that's been on the so-called task force, he's been out there talking to these people that live there all the time. And he's also going with when he gives his report, he'll explain what's going on. there's a lot happening with the truck enforcement committee. Right now, we're kind of like in limbo. Yeah, we are in limbo because the state's attorney and the sheriff, they have to work with us so we can create an ordinance to give a fine to the trucks that come in these subdivisions. If we just say, don't come into subdivision, they're gonna laugh at you. That's what's been happening for the last 5 years. They've been just told, don't come in here, and they come in. We want to have an enforceable fine that they're going to have to pay a lot of money, and that will stop it.
Have you guys contacted the
And,
DPS?
and our sheriff right now is been contacted, and the state's attorney, and we're working with them. And when Mr. Bonomo gives his report, pay attention to his report, and you'll find out what's going on over there. A lot is going on. Then the last one that we're going to have is Land Identification Committee. And the reason for that is we have a lot of land, and we don't even know what's exactly part of what. I pulled up stuff because we were originally the school was supposed to get a donation to build like a gymnasium or something for the kids from the Welter property. And that comes from the Welter family. They said that, and they asked if I would please give them some of that land to do that. So I went and talked with the superintendent, and he said, yeah, they need it. Angela, she took the reins, and she's been working with the school. She was a school board member for a long time. She's very qualified. She knows what she's doing. And she got involved with Mark Darwin, and our assessor to be. We got the pins for everything, and we're trying to identify this stuff. And it's not what you would think. You'd think that the pin would tell you everything you need to know. Yeah, it gives you enough information, but we have to know everything. And that's what this group is doing, and they've been putting countless hours in on that. Looking at maps, doing GIS overviews, and the whole bit. So we can't do anything with the land that we got, because we don't even know which lands are which lands per se. We know some of the open space property, some we don't. We don't know how far it goes. So these people have a really, really difficult task, and they're doing a good job at getting it organized. And that's why at this point we decided it's time to form the committees. So I need to get a...
Steve, can we open that other window?
Open both windows.
They're open. So we need to get a motion at this time to form the 3 committees.
I'll make a motion to form the committee.
I'll second. Okay, let's do a roll call. Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera? Trustee Conley? Yes. Trustee Bonomo? And Supervisor Bowledge?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, now we're going to have a motion to approve the following committee members. The senior committee will be trustees Bonomo, Rivera, and Conley. Do we need to do each separate or go with both? Separate?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve those 3 people for the senior committee.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call. Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Supervisor Bowledge?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Truck Enforcement Committee will be trustee Bonomo and road commissioner Porfilius.
I'll motion to approve. Second.
Roll call. Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Supervisor Bowledge?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And Land Identification Committee will be, we're missing one, we're missing Mark Brown on there.
Mark, we're missing Mark.
But trustee Adolph and Carmen Morella, and Mark Darwin's not on there, but he's supposed to be on there, it's a typo.
So can we just make a motion to approve Adolph or add Mark to the committee?
Okay.
Or just
We'll just do it, we'll do it the next meeting.
to the next
Next
meeting?
meeting, okay.
So we can do the 2.
Okay.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage?
Yes.
Motion passes.
A motion to adopt ordinance HT 2021-07120 RD1, Robert's Rules Procedures. In other words, we're adopting Robert's Rules of Order. So we get a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
And I'll do a roll call on that. Just give me 1 second. Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage?
Yes. Okay, motion to approve a line item transfer in the open space fund from line 991 capital reserve to, there's a bunch of them, line 707, 708, 709, 712, and 720. And the reason for that is we're going to start paying a salary of one of the workers that they've never paid any salaries for all the work these people do in the open space. It's just been sitting there, and it's not right that we're using money from other funds, so we're going to start paying one salary out of the open space fund. So I need a motion to approve that line item transfer.
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
And Supervisor Ballage?
Yes. Okay, then we have item number H, and we're still looking for part-time summer maintenance workers not to exceed 1,000 hours to be paid minimum wage. A motion to approve the salary of hiring 2 to 4 we've done that already, so we're just still looking for part-time people to work for the rest of the summer. We approved the thing, I think on the second meeting. Then we have the Highway Commissioner, Brent Porfilio's report.
All right, I got a number of things here. Before I get started, I'm happy to be the Homer Township rep for the Special Needs Committee. I know Christine was just in here. I've known her for 12 years, and also Nicole Laher, her parents are over here. They're doing a great thing with what they're going to do for special needs kids. I have a 27-year-old son with special needs. I've been through so much frustration on funding programs for adults with special needs, which there are a lot more adults than kids with special needs in the township. So I'm happy to be contributing to that. And it's coming soon, like as Steve had said. I'm also happy to say that my salary is $15,000. I got my June check that reflects that. So there was a few things on Facebook said about that, but I just wanted to clear the air on that. If you want to see my stuff, I can bring it to the meeting. In light of that, we're going to try to get more MFT money for the road district. We're going to go to the county, which we've contacted already, to increase the mileage another 3.6 miles to 21.6. Try to get more money from the MFT funds. What's next? Founders Crossing. I know Ellen, I think you asked about a bid. I'm going to go out there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock with Steve and do an evaluation of all the concrete and asphalt out there. If any of you have issues, and you're up at 8 o'clock, I would assume most of you are. If you want to contribute to telling me some spots that have had problems, now is the time. Because I don't know how long it's been since the last time there's been improvements out there, but I'm there to help. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid having to pay consulting fees for this. So I'd like to meet with a contractor after I do an evaluation of the site and start going to bid next month, so we can get these improvements done this year. So that's all the concrete and asphalt that's out there. So if you have time tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and you want to meet with Steve and I'd be more than happy to accommodate you. What's next? There were some flooding issues on Regents Road that we're looking into. We're just notified about. On Smith Road, there was a culvert that was clogged up. We did a jetting of that 2 days ago. It's working now. We talked about truck enforcement. I've met a number of times with the Tamerling Road residents. There's about 25 homes out there. And believe it or not, they have a small street that between Smith Road and Archer Guess how many cars they're getting a day? This includes trucks. 900 a day. 900 a day. And there's 24 houses on the street. So I've already contacted the fire department, and I'm going to be coordinating with the police and the schools to try to put a dead end on the street on the Smith Road end so this stops. And we're going to try to accommodate the emergency vehicles with something they call sodcrete. It's something cool. It looks like grass when you go down the street, but there's a substructure to it where a fire engine can drive over it. But shh, don't tell anybody. We're not going to put up any gates or any pork chop islands that are one way, one out, right in, right out. They don't work. The truckers drive right over them. Signing doesn't work. People ignore the signs. So we're doing something physical that's going to try to work for everybody, but it's a process, so we have to meet with a lot of different local agency groups to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing and it can get passed through the right way. What else? The accounts payable for the road district is now set up with the township. That's something that just happened last week. What else? Lockport Heights. My mouthpiece over here, Roy, did a great job letting me know what's going on out there. Frank Dunn and Mike DeVivo had a different way of doing improvements for the township road district. My philosophy is you have to improve the right-of-way from property line to property line. So any driveways or sidewalks or anything like that, before they didn't want to touch them, they didn't want to improve them, they tried to save a little bit of money. Lockport Heights, it's a disaster out there with the sidewalk. We're talking about tripping hazards and other things like that. It's really bad. And there's some driveways out there that are so bad that people are bottoming out their cars getting in their driveway. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyways, so for the future, for the unincorporated parts of Homer Township and the road district, we're going to be doing a right-of-way to right-of-way improvements. So we're going to be having a change order done for Lockport Heights to make sure that the people that have driveways and sidewalks that are in really bad shape, that we're going to repair them, and we're going to try to make them ADA accessible. So that's a new philosophy for that. What else? Security cameras. Mike is coordinating with, what's the name of the company? Flock. They have small security cameras that are motion activated, and we're looking at putting 2 in the road district yard.
Did you get bids for those, or was that just one? Was there 3 bids for those, or was that just the one bid thing?
What was the question?
For the security cameras, did you just go with the one company, or were there multiple bids for those?
Right now we're focused on one company. We're actually working with the village of Homer Glen as well. They have a pretty nice program put together. We're actually looking at funding from the government, to possibly pay for the cameras.
I just feel like we get a lot of yada 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 about the bids from Steve. So I would like to see, like, are we ever going to get the bids actually seen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not gonna keep, go back and forth. Yeah, we're gonna go out and get bids, and when we get bids, we're gonna see them on our agendas. And we're gonna have bids. It's a matter of when we can identify what's gonna happen. And Brent and I is gonna go in there tomorrow morning. Brent will make a decision on what to do. He's an expert, I'm not. I'm going.
I know you're not an expert,
I mean,
but
I
I'm
could
just
lie
saying.
and tell you, hey, I know everything about it. But
I don't think you do. I'm just saying, I hear a lot of talk about bids.
So for Founders Crossing, I'm gonna try to manage the improvements, and we're definitely gonna put it out to bid. Usually a general contractor will be bidding on it that has a sub-consultant that does the smaller work, the more specialty work. So yeah, we're gonna get as many bids as we can. We want to be fair, of course. So that's always something that we keep in our mind when we're doing the improvements. What else do I have? That's enough, I think. If any of you have any issues with roads or sidewalks or anything in the area where you live, please see me. Even after the meeting, if you want to talk for a few minutes, please let me know. I'm only one person. I can't cover everything. We usually react to people that call in with issues, but if you have something you want to talk about, there's a flooding issue in your ditch or under your driveway, or something downstream of you that's backing up and flooding your property, please just let me know. Thanks. That's all I got.
Okay, next we're having a report by Karen Shinskowski. Do you have anything?
I have no report tonight.
Okay, then we're moving on to trustee reports. Trustee Adolph?
I don't have a whole lot to say about the school at this time. I mean, we're talking, we're still trying to identify which exact land would be the most appropriate to discuss with them.
When you talk about the school, what school?
Oh, the Homer schools, I'm so sorry.
School?
Yes, Homer 33C district, there's other, they've got, there's,
Because at one time, I thought they were gonna try to build a high school here.
that, we are not talking about that. That would be what Homer 33C would do at this point. And that would be, that's unfortunately not us. So we're just, we have some land that was supposed to go to the schools, so we're trying to accommodate the best we can if they have needs for something. And if the idea would be, ideally, we would like to try and work it out so if there's land needed for a school, that we could provide it without the taxpayers having to purchase more land for the school since the township already owns it.
You know, we're not going to allow questions from the group here because the attorney told me that we should just go on with the meeting. If you have questions, after the meeting, talk to us. We'll be all glad to talk to you. But if we can't just start, we have to get done with this meeting first, and then we'll talk to anybody. Okay? Trustee Bonomo?
Yeah, I'd like to start off, in regard to the truck situation, my main goal was with Lockport Heights, and we're working with Roy and Heather. Up till, you know, I was responsible for putting the signs up that said no truck entrance, the red and white ones through Prologis. They put them up immediately, and once we started addressing the problem. I contacted Yellow, YRC, all the trucking companies. I contacted Prologis, I contacted SNS, and thought we had the problem resolved. But I don't know of any truck traffic that's in Lockport Heights. But Heather just sent me a thing after a month before saying that everything was fine, that there's truck traffic, and that's with on Gauger, I believe. So that's a whole different animal. So my focus was on Lockport Heights because I think that's vital. You have no sidewalks, you have children, and when they pull in and if they have to turn around, it's about a half an hour of maneuvering in and out to get out of that little entrance there. So I've asked Heather, and maybe Roy could help, to get me onto a contact page where people can contact me directly when they see a truck or when they know something goes right, because I don't know unless they tell me. And as Stephen mentioned, we're talking to the state's attorney in regards to cameras, which was brought up just a minute ago. And we want it, you know, of course, to be a deterrent and something to help with safety. We also want to see about making it a so-called revenue generator related to tickets, which of course will hopefully deter. The first thing is to deter the trucks from coming into the subdivision, but if they do, they should, you don't want to call it punishment, but you have to give them some sort of penalty for making a poor decision, because it's pretty obvious that there's no way of getting out of that subdivision. The problem is once they pull in, they're committed, and to get out is a nightmare. So once we get through with the state's attorney, the Will County Sheriff and all, the cameras we're discussing, and with Flock, and on Wednesday the village is having a meeting regarding it, and I'll be there to talk about it with them. They offer a 60-day trial where you can put cameras in for 60 days at no cost. The township and or village or whatever has to commit the money at that 61st day, but if you decide you could opt out, you walk away. So my thinking is within 2 months, the trucks that come in and out are usually the same, because with Yellow and YRC, they start in Bolingbrook, and that's a transfer station, and they have 8 to 10 drivers that go into SNS, but once it expands, then it becomes a whole different animal. But with the cameras up, within a 2-month period, word should get out, there are cameras, and it's a problem. So we're hoping to offer it as a deterrent, and then through a state's attorney and whatever means, we'll induce fines, which again, word will get out, and hopefully it'll put a stop to it. My main concern is safety on this issue, not revenue, because I don't know how many children live in Lockport Heights, some quite a few, and they have nowhere else to walk but on dirt or on the street. And most of them are going to like to ride their bike on the street, and I'd hate to see an 18-wheeler, what it could do if it drives through there. So that is, that's really all I have to do in working with Brent. We're going to really hammer this down. And again, with the pictures I received today, it's a whole different area, so we have to address that as well. So initially, my main concern was Lockport Heights. I think we rectified it and wait for Heather to get back to me to see if there's more feedback. But again, if you can tell all the residents, call me direct. I give them my cell phone number. I don't care. They can call me any time of the day, any time of the night. I'm here, so I won't back away from it. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Trustee Conley?
Nothing, just
Okay. Trustee Rivera? Okay. Then, item number 10, motion to approve all payment of bills for this period ending July 12, 2021. Founders Crossing Bond, Founders Crossing General Assistance, Open Space, Park Developer Contribution, Park Town, and Road and Bridge, and Equipment and Building Funds. Get a motion to approve those bills.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call. Trustee Adolf?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera? Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Manomo?
Yes.
Supervisor Balich?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, do you have anything for new business?
Nothing. No.
Okay, we have no new business, and all the old business is still pending, so we're not gonna go into each different item because we don't have any new stuff. We have nothing going on yet, so we're still working on it. So everything in old business, consider it being worked on. We're not stopping on anything. Right now, we're getting close to a deal with Village. And that's the only thing that's an update, maybe. We're getting close to a deal with the Village for them to take over all of our parks. And there's things involved with those parks that we have to address, well, at least one of them. But anyway, everything's going to work out, I think. So that's the only thing that's there, so that's it. There's no executive session, so I'd like to need a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
Trustee Conley, motion to adjourn.
Well, I'll second.
Trustee Adolf? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, 8:06 PM.
You a part, and you a part, and you a part. Everybody gets a part. I'm curious about that.
When I heard you talk.